What's going on, everybody? It's John with Bull-Throttle Trading. Today I wanted to make a video going back to the basics, so to speak. So I know a lot of the videos that I've been posting are a little more for somebody who's already a little bit established. So I wanted to kind of like break down for a lot of you guys who are thinking of starting to trade for the first time and trying to figure out where to get started. So I just kind of want to go over some of the things that you might want to ask yourself before you start getting involved and figure out what kind of trader or investor that you want to be, and then give you guys a little bit of a direction of where you might see value or where you feel comfortable, especially trading or investing with a certain amount of money that you're willing to what a lot of people say is, I'm willing to be able to lose this amount of money, which I don't think is a great mentality to go into it with. But again, I just kind of wanted to go through some questions that you should answer for yourself and try to figure out what trader that you're going to be and how to get started with everything. So if you guys are ready, let's jump on in. Alright, so the first thing that you guys should be paying attention to if you're just opening your first account or thinking about opening your first account, or maybe you already got one started and you're trying to figure out what your niche is going to be or where you're going to make your money, so to speak. So the first thing that you should figure out is, what amount of money do you want to start off with? And for everybody, this is going to be different. I don't want you guys to think, just because, you know, like maybe you have $20,000 or $25,000 that you're able to start out with, that doesn't mean that you're guaranteed going to make that money, right? So, you know, a lot of people will talk about the PDT rule and being stuck underneath the PDT rule, and they think like, oh, well, if I could start and be above this PDT rule, then I'm going to make money. That's in no way, shape, or form true at all. So I just want you guys to know that. I think that it's important to start where you're comfortable, and really, I really want to push you guys, just from my own learning experience, really start with paper money. You could start paper money. I know TD Ameritrade offers it, and it's absolutely free for 60 days. But do some practice. Do some foundation work before you start investing with your own money. I lost quite a bit of money when I was learning, and after that I switched to paper trading until I learned how to basically get, you know, what I needed to get to prove to myself that I can do this and be profitable. So again, the first thing that you want to ask yourself is, how much money do I want to start off with, right? And then the second thing is, you need to decide whether you want to be a swing trader or a day trader, a momentum trader. There's a couple different, you know, routes that you can take, and there's a lot of different niches that people like to fall into. Now, me personally, I'm a day trader. That's where I find that I am profitable. I'm working on my swing trading. I'm getting better at it, but swing trading is where I lost a lot of my money. And the reason why I was swing trading is because I was starting with I was under $25,000. So under the PDT rule, you can only have 3 day trades in a 5-day period, right? Now, obviously, my goal at that time was to grow my account. And I did grow my account. And I made a pretty good amount of money when I started off. And I found that it was, I don't want to say getting lucky, because there was some logic behind what I was doing, but I wasn't fully informed to make the best decisions. So there were plenty of trades that I took where I lost a little bit of money here and I lost a little bit of money there, and slowly I was bleeding my account. And then like I'd find that one stock that I got in at the right time, and then I'd make a lot of money, right? And then as the days would go on, I'd be forcing trades or again, not being informed and not having a plan, and then just slowly eating away at those profits again. So that's a very frustrating and discouraging thing when you're becoming a trader or an investor that can turn a lot of people off of the market. So I don't want you guys to get discouraged. This is, again, why it's important to start with paper money. I really, really, really want to push that because it will be less discouraging when things don't go well. And let's be honest, when you're starting off, you're not always, I mean, nobody's a perfect trader regardless. But when you're starting off, you're going to make more mistakes. And you can make mistakes based on choosing the wrong stocks or getting in at the wrong times or not knowing how to get your orders in and out where you want them or knowing where to buy, where to sell, where to set your stop loss. So these are all things that, and I go over a lot of these in my other videos, but again, like, you need to figure out what kind of a trader you want to be and start to focus there. So figure out how much money you're comfortable investing with. Figure out if you want to be a day trader, a swing trader, a momentum trader. And then next would be choosing your platform. Now, I've mentioned this in many of my other videos. I love using TD Ameritrade. In no way, shape, or form is TD Ameritrade the best platform out there. It's just the one that I like the most. I'm successful with it. I like the way its user interface is. I like the way it functions. It's what I adapted to. I started with Robinhood, which I think is a great platform to start with, especially when you're just learning. It's very easy to use. It's very simple, right? I know there's another one, Webull, which is a little bit more advanced than Robinhood, but similar. But I feel like a lot of people initially start off with these because their big claim to fame is, oh, we're zero commission. Well, TD Ameritrade is zero commission as well. So me personally, I would start with TD Ameritrade because it makes setting up your charts, learning how to use these indicators, using paper money, it makes it all a lot easier. And it's a little bit more upfront when you're starting, but it's good to learn that. Those are like fundamental basics, right? So it's good to learn how to use these indicators, how to set them up, how to start charting these different, stocks. So again, if you already have an account with Robinhood or whatever and that works for you, then that's great. In no way, shape, or form do you have to change what you're already doing. Again, I'm just showing you the things that I've learned myself, and I know that everybody's different. Okay, and then the next thing that you want to do when you're starting to, begin trading, whether it's paper trading, real trading, swing trading, day trading, you want to set a goal. Maybe it's, okay, I want to make 3% every week. And let's say you're a day trader, right? So you have 3 day trades in a 5-day period that you can use, and you want to grow your account, let's say 2% every week or 5% every week, whatever your goal is. And you want these goals to be realistic but challenging, right? So, and again, that's going to depend on what you like to trade. Some people love trading penny stocks or pharmaceutical stocks. Some people like doing energy stocks or commodities, things like that. So I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen in my videos, I like trading the natural gas future and the ETNs, UGAS, and DGAS. And the reason why I like to do that is because it's, by following natural gas, there's an inverse and a replica, right? So if natural gas goes up, UGAS goes up, and DGAS goes down. So no matter which way natural gas is moving, I have something to play that'll work in my favor, right? And that's why I like trading natural gas. And I pretty much trade natural gas daily. And it makes it easier for me because I start to see that the patterns that natural gas follows, and I learn how it moves, and it makes it easy. And believe me, it's not the same every day. There are some days that the volatility is way higher. But for me, it saves me from having to scan for stocks all the time, right? Or reading the news and figuring out what am I going to buy today, or what am I going to, And if you're a swing trader, then you're going to be doing those things. I wouldn't really recommend swing trading in ETNs, especially triple leveraged ETNs. But ETNs are basically, what's the word I'm looking for here? They are declining. They're breaking down. So over a long period of time, they continuously go down until they reach a certain point where they'll do a reverse split, which brings the price back up, and they slowly deteriorate. That's the word I was looking for. They're deteriorating. So swing trading ETNs that deteriorate on the long term doesn't make much sense to me, right? There may be a time here or there where there's news or something like that where holding it overnight, like maybe an overnight swing trade, could work. But if you're going to swing trade for the most part, you're going to be wanting to paying attention to what's going on in the news and what different businesses are doing so that you have some kind of an idea. Like a prime example, there was a guy in one of the stock groups that I belong to when it was announced that the quarantines were coming out, right? And everybody was going to be stuck at home. He knew like, okay, well, if people are going to be stuck at home, they're going to be bored, and there's going to be an increase in Netflix subscriptions and Hulu subscriptions. And when that news came out that we were being quarantined, he invested a large amount of money in Netflix, and within like a week and a half, he had profited over $200,000 because of that news, right? So these are the kind of things that if you're going to be a swing trader, you want to pay attention to those things. As I said, for me, day trading kind of eliminates me having to search or scan for stocks all the time, so it makes it a little bit easier for me. Now, don't get me wrong, I still, because I love the stock market, I still spend my time paying attention to swing opportunities and being aware of what's going on out there because it's in my best interest. But it does make my load a little bit easier on myself knowing that every day I'm going to trade the same thing. There's different momentum stocks that people follow, and these are examples like stocks that become hyped for some reason. Like you could say when the quarantines come out, there was a lot of, Blue Apron was a company that I invested in on a swing trade, and I made some good money on because they were a food delivery service. So when the quarantine came out and everybody started to close and these restaurants were announcing that we're going to stay open and we're going to deliver, the stocks in those companies that did those sort of things obviously went up. So these are things that you want to pay attention to of the momentum. And then there's also breaking down, looking at the 6-month or the 1-year chart and looking at patterns, using your indicators and saying, okay, we've identified the support and we've identified this resistance. And if it's bouncing horizontally between this support and this resistance, well then I know, okay, when it's down at this support and it shows me that it's bouncing again and it's starting to move up, that I want to buy close to that support level when it's on the bounce. And then I can see, okay, I know it's going to get up to about this resistance level, so I know where I want to buy in, I know where I want to exit, and I know where I want to set my stop loss. And I can kind of have an idea of a percentage of profit that I could make or a percentage of loss. So I know when I enter this trade, I have a plan, right? I know I'm going to buy at this price, and if I miss at this price, I'm going to walk away from the opportunity and wait for a new opportunity to show itself because it no longer has value to me, right? So again, we want to make sure that we pay attention to what's going on behind the scenes with these stocks if we're going to swing trade them, right? If you are somebody who wants to be a day trader and you're under the PDT rule and you're concerned about growing your accounts, one of the things that I did when I started is I would day trade and use up my day trades throughout the week, but I would also look for swing trade opportunities. So if I could find a stock that was at that support level and I day traded that day, and let's say I used 2 day trades on one day, leaving me one left for the rest of that 5-day period, and I made, let's say, 2.5%, and that was my goal on the week. Okay, that's great. But now I could take advantage of using that money towards swing trades, even if it's just overnight, right? And there are certain ways that you could scan for stocks. There's plenty of apps out there where you could scan and say, show me all the stocks that closed yesterday, at least, 10% lower than where they opened. So you're looking for these losers, so to speak. So you're finding all the stocks that have dropped, and you could start setting your alerts so you can see, okay, this stock has now gone in a downward momentum, and it was trading here, and now it's dropped down, and we can see, okay, we have about like a 9% margin here, right? So as soon as we see that this stock bottoms out, and it starts showing sign of a reversal, and it starts to pump back up, now this is a good opportunity to buy in, right? And we know, all right, we want to buy close to that support line. We want to set our stop loss so that if we go 1 or 2% below that, that we have an exit strategy and we're just going to minimize our losses. And I understand that it's very, very discouraging when you're under the PDT rule and you only have 3 trades and you use one of those trades with your stop loss going out. But I promise you it's way better than holding a stock, waiting for it to come back up, and turning a day trade into a swing trade. You will, in my experience, you will see more days in the red by doing this. And this is something that I always state. This is why it's important to have a plan and stick to your plan. You guys will hear me talk about direction, and direction is super important, right? We want to pay attention to a stock's direction and put our money in stocks that are moving in the direction that we want them to move, right? That just makes sense. Why would we buy in on something if it's dropping? We don't want to do that. We want to allow it to drop and see where we bounce at, right? And then we can kind of establish this plan and look at the pattern that this stock is showing us to devise this plan and stick to it, right? So whether you're going to be swing trading or day trading or momentum trading, the next thing that I want to get you guys to, and this is going to be the last thing that I'm going to include in this video, is learning how to use and set up these indicators, right? So go back and watch my videos. I have a video on how to set up and use the MACD indicator, the RSI indicator, the VWAP, the SMA, and the EMA. Those are the 5 indicators that I use, and I have videos broken down on how I set those up and how I use them. And it's very, very important to become familiar with these. And I know that this seems like a lot if you're a beginner, but if you take your time and start with just one and then go to the next one and walk before you run, it's not that difficult. It's just that initial getting into the pool, diving in, that initial part is the hardest part. But once you start doing that and go slow, take your time and just learn, how to use these indicators, how to set them up, how to read them, and learn how to see these patterns. And once you can see these patterns, it becomes so much easier to understand what a stock is doing on an analytical side. Like I said, as a day trader following natural gas, I very rarely need to know what's going on in the news. I could look at the chart, I could see what it's doing, and because I trade it every day, I'm familiar with the patterns that it shows me, right? So I have an edge up on it. And why wouldn't you want to find something like that? And I'm not saying that everybody has to trade natural gas. You should find your niche, and that's what I'm here for. I want to help you guys find what you're comfortable with, what fits your needs, and how you can learn to harness that, right? You don't want to just buy into something because, I heard people were talking about this is a great stock or there's a lot of opportunity. Never buy or invest in anything that you don't understand or you don't know why you're doing it. People talking about why a stock is going to be huge is a tactic there's pump and dumps and hyping stocks that people do this for their own benefit. And yes, there are profits to be made on this, but when you don't understand it, it's very unlikely that you're going to lock in those profits. Again, this is what I found in my own personal, experiences. So again, I want you guys to spend some time and figure these things out. Figure out, how much money do I want to start with? What kind of a trader or investor do I want to be? What platform do I want to use? And then getting these indicators. Again, the MACD, the RSI, the VWAP, the EMA, and the SMA lines. Learning how to use those things. And even a couple other things. If you, like on TD Ameritrade, other platforms offer it as well. It's called Level 2, where you can see who's buying, how many people are buying at what price, and where they're selling. And these are also ways that you can kind of judge how a stock is going to move. And again, nothing is guaranteed. We don't want to make decisions based solely on indicators, but we want to use them to confirm what we think a stock is doing. I understand that a lot of you guys starting out are going to have many questions, and I want to encourage you all to, leave comments and ask me these questions. I'm more than happy to answer these questions for you. My goal in starting this YouTube channel and doing this is teaching people how to become successful traders or investors, and that's what I'm here for. So if there's something that you don't understand, or something maybe I didn't cover that is a concern for you, ask me, bring it up. Let me know what those are, and I'll do my best at answering these questions for you, or helping you see things a little bit more clear. I wanted to make a video because I know that there's a lot of you out there who are just beginning to start trading, or are thinking of opening an account and don't really know where to start. So I just go back and watch this video again too if you need to, and pay attention to all these different things, and do some research on your own if you have to, and learn about what momentum trading is, what swing trading is, what day trading is, what the PDT rule is, and become familiar with these things. And again, you don't have to learn everything overnight. Don't discourage yourself. Don't make yourself walk away from a potentially profitable market. Just take your time, learn what you need to learn, and when you're starting out, most importantly, and this is why I push for paper trading. Again, I'm going to say this all the time in the future. I've said it in all of my videos in the past. Paper money is a great way to start, because when you're starting to trade or starting to invest, you're doing it to learn, not to make profits. If you come into this trying to make a certain dollar amount all the time, or you're not going to be successful. You need to take the time and learn to trade on opportunities, and trade to learn, not to make money. And once you've learned how to trade, then you can trade to make money. And that's the best piece of advice that I can offer to anybody watching. So I hope that this all makes sense to you. So again, I hope you guys found value in this video. I hope that this is going to help you guys all get started, or take it to that next level for the beginners out there. Please, please, please feel free to leave any questions in the comment section. I will be more than happy to answer any of them.